The film kicks off with a chilling scene, introducing us to a mysterious notebook. A voice from out of nowhere declares, "Anyone whose name is scribbled on this notepad will perish." Soon after, we meet a doctor, and guess what? That very same book appears right outside his house. It's the Death Note, and the rule is simple. Write a name, and that person dies. The doctor is then shown examining a patient who is in agony. The patient begs him, "I'm in extreme pain. Please do anything that will cause me to die." Driven by compassion, or maybe just the rule of the book, the doctor writes the patient's name in the notebook, and bam, the patient dies instantly. This is when we get more of the eerie ground rules for using the notebook. You must write the person's true name. You must have a mental image of the person whose name you are writing. The notebook's owners are supposed to have Shinigami eyes. The Shinigami eyes are a big deal. If you have them, you can see a person's name floating right above their head. Write that name in the Death Note, and they're done for. Kira's legacy and the task force. Now, let's talk about the background. This is a sequel, right? In the first movie, we met Light, who used the Death Note and became the notorious killer, Kira. L was the legendary detective hired to catch him. 10 years have passed, and suddenly, criminals connected to terrorists are dropping like flies, mostly from heart attacks. Everyone thinks Kira is back. A new task force is formed to investigate, led by Ryuzaki. Who is Ryuzaki? He's L's son, and the one who originally figured out that Light was Kira. The world is on edge. The girl with the Shinigami eyes. Then, a new character pops up, a girl who finds a Death Note. She confidently states, "I'll use this notebook better than Kira." The task team gets reports that people are dying on the roads. Again, mostly heart attacks. It looks like this girl is the new killer. They figure out that the killer is a girl in a black hoodie, and they manage to track her down in time. When they confront her, they realize she has those Shinigami eyes. She's been seeing names over people's heads and scribbling them down. The task force captures her, and she hands over the Death Note. But, in a final twist of irony, someone writes her name in the Death Note, and she dies, right then and there. The Shinigami and the rules. Once the task force touches the notebook, the Shinigami, the Death God, and true owner manifests. He drops a bombshell. There are only 6 Death Notes allowed in the human world at any one time. This means the task force's new mission is to hunt down the remaining 5. Suddenly, a video from Kira pops up everywhere, on monitors, computers, phones, you name it. A total hack! In the video, Kira announces that the next Kira will be the one to collect all the notebooks. He talks about his new plan to create a world of peace. The officers are confused. Light died right in front of one of them. So who sent this message? They're all super cautious and haven't even told each other their real names, just in case the new Kira is one of them. Misa's return Ryuzaki, the task force leader, asks about an old ally of Light's, Misa. He wonders if she's behind this. The team says no. Her memory was erased over 10 years ago, which is a rule of the Death Note when you give it up. We then see Misa, the girl from the first part who was deeply in love with Light and worked with him. She walks into her room and hears a voice coming from a packet of potato chips. It's Light's voice, pre-recorded. The audio tells her to open a gift box. Inside is a Death Note. The moment Misa touches it, her entire memory of Light and the Death Note is restored. Another rule of the book. Her Shinigami, who had been waiting, appears and says, "Misa, it's been a long time." The task force, who had been watching Misa closely, now thinks the new Kira is definitely going to contact her. The collector and the twist. A young man gets into Misa's car. He claims to have leaked Kira's video and says Kira asked him to meet Misa to help him collect the notebooks. Misa realizes something is wrong. If Light were alive, he would know the exact meeting spot. She refuses to help, and the boy leaves. The task force is clueless because the boy was a cunning hacker and jammed their cameras. More people are dying. Supporters of Kira are being killed, and the notebooks are being collected. It turns out the person killing Kira's supporters online and writing their names down is someone with a Death Note, a Kira opponent. The boy who met Misa is revealed to be Shien, the mastermind who wants to meet Light. He was the one tracking down people with the Death Notes, using his hacking skills, stealing them, and killing their owners. He's doing this because the message from Kira said, "Whoever wants to meet me should collect all of the notebooks." Shien spreads a virus, demanding that the task force leader reveal his name and face, or the murders will continue. Ryuzaki fights back, showing him a video and luring him to a website so they can trace his location. They almost catch him, but Shien escapes, leaving one Death Note behind. In it, the name of an investigator is written. That poor investigator smiles, then shoots himself. The Death Note's power in action. Numbered Mishima's secret. The government, frustrated by the mess, dissolves the task force. Mishima, one of the investigators whose friend died, refuses to stop. He keeps investigating, even finding out where the last Death Note is kept, thanks to Ryuzaki's video. He goes to Ryuzaki's house and meets a Shinigami who lives there. He knows Ryuzaki has the final notebook. Ryuzaki says he's never used it and that L gave it to him for safekeeping. They both agree they have no idea who the new Kira is. Then, things get complicated. Mishima is arrested on a charge related to Light's son and a prosecutor. The task force leader, Ryuzaki, bails him out, saying, "We'll find the new Kira together." They set a trap for Shien, the boy they met online, telling him they have the Death Notes and will hand them over. They arrange to meet at an art center, and Shien agrees, but he demands Ryuzaki show his face. The trap goes sideways. Shien jams the signal, and Misa, who they asked for help, unexpectedly shows up. She mercilessly kills 3 of the team members and the task force leader. She goes to meet Shien and says, "Light is not alive. I saw his name with my Shinigami eyes." She realizes the leaked video wasn't Light. She asks Shien to go to a mountain hotel with her, and Ryuzaki, who's been listening, directs his remaining teammates there. Shien, realizing Kira is dead, arrives at the hotel. He tells the Death Angel, "I'll be the new Kira," and asks for the Shinigami eyes, which requires him to sacrifice half of his remaining lifespan. The grand reveal Ryuzaki and Mishima arrive. Ryuzaki falls to the ground, seemingly dead. Shien, thinking he has won, writes Ryuzaki's name in the Death Note, but Ryuzaki stands up. He asks, "Do you know why I did not die?" He explains that someone had already written his name in a Death Note for a future date. He tells Mishima that this means Shien isn't the new Kira, but someone else is. Shien suggests it could be Light's son, but Ryuzaki dismisses it. The boy is too young. Ryuzaki then turns to Mishima and asks, "What do you know about this case? Your job was to find Light's son." Mishima claims to have no memory. Ryuzaki gets suspicious. A man only loses his memory when he gives away his Death Note. "You were the new Kira," Ryuzaki states. Ryuzaki tells Mishima to touch the notebook, and when he does, Mishima's memory comes flooding back. The truth is finally revealed. The prosecutor murdered Light's son using a Death Note. Mishima saw this and shot the prosecutor, taking the notebook. He received a message from Light given to his son before death, telling him to carry on his legacy. Mishima became the new Kira, killing terrorists to end the war. He knew the task force would come for him, so he wrote Ryuzakai's name in the Death Note for a death date far in the future, then gave the notebook to the Shinigami. He also edited Kira's video to make it look like Light was alive and then erased his own memory. The end of the game. In the present, with everyone knowing Mishima is the new Kira, the police arrive. Shien tries to ask Mishima a final question, but he dies, handing over all the Death Notes to Mishima before he goes. Mishima and Ryuzaki try to escape, but one of the task force members, realizing Mishima is Kira, tries to kill him. The Shinigami creature living in Ryuzaki's house intervenes, killing the young girl and then dying herself, as Shinigami are not supposed to kill humans. Mishima and Ryuzaki are finally arrested. Later, in jail, Mishima is visited by Ryuk, the original Shinigami, who tells him that 6 Death Notes were brought into the world and humans' greed will ensure the game continues. Mishima insists the 6 notes are secure. Then, Ryuzaki arrives to tell him the grim news. The car carrying the notebooks was attacked by terrorists. 4 notebooks are gone, destroyed, and 2 are missing. Ryuzaki also reminds Mishima, "You wrote my name in the Death Note for today. I'll die today." Ryuzaki then has a final conversation with Mishima. "I'm not qualified to stop the coming chaos, but you are. Mishima is dying. Ryuzaki is living. Now you're Ryuzaki." He gets Mishima released, claiming he is above the law. Mishima leaves, taking on the persona of the new detective. Ryuzaki dies, having fulfilled his destiny. The movie ends with a final, chilling video from Light, who is laughing, declaring that everything went according to his plan all along. The game, as Ryuk predicted, continues. What a crazy, twisty story, right? Would you like me to tell you more about the characters or the specific rules of the Death Note?